which part of the country, of the world, of the level world are you?
I'm in Connecticut, right next to New York City, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Well, New York City is a hellhole. And I used to
It
have a
is, isn't it?
rule. I used to have a rule never going to New York City between Thanksgiving and New Year's because it's crazy. But now I've added to that rule never go into New York City between New Year's and Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So never going to New York
chaos.
City. Yeah. But our kids, two of our kids live in the city and they love it. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, I know. That's the younger generations, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Dave, thank you so much for allowing me to have you on this Facebook Live, which will be put onto whatever other channels going forward. But thank you. And yeah, let's just. I'm impressed how you came across my little 10-minute video.
You know, I saw a TikTok of a clip of it, and then something happened, and I lost it, and I forgot about it, and then Glowbusters, you know, the show Glowbusters, they played it, and I was like, wow, that's really good, and I made a video of it with just a little bit of a background, not much, and then somebody else was so impressed by it, they added all of these visuals from the Matrix and everything. And then I took it back and I re-edited it, made it even better, and uploaded it again. And people love it. It's going all over the place. So every time I listen to it, I get more out of it.
Do you? I was not expecting it.
I have questions about, you know, when you did that, did you have that written out or did you just have a flow of consciousness?
A bit of both. I was very nervous. I've been meaning to do this for 2 years. And
wow.
When I when I woke up to flat Earth, I was you know, I was,
when was that?
COVID, during COVID. So when we ended up in lockdown, and my life was taken away from me. And I was like, hold on a minute, who said I can't go out? Who made these rules? What is really going on? So I started delving down what people called rabbit holes. This is how much I didn't even know what a rabbit hole meant at the time. And so I remember watching someone, and we were learning so much about what was going on in life, and I was just overwhelmed with it all. And then someone else said, and I suppose you think the Earth is flat. And I was like, what did he just say? What's going on? And so that's when I started looking into it. And then, so that was 2020. And then I think by just really got into it, I loved it. And it's what brought me back to, I was losing that magic of life before. I felt like I was losing that connection. And, you know, and I was thinking, is this it? Is this really it? You know, you walk around and you think, is this really it? This life, you know? And then I discovered through the works of yourself and many other wonderful people like Santos and Eric DeBay, and I discovered this, that we are not living on a spinning ball. And it was just like bang. It was amazing. And it woke me up spiritually. And then delving into more rabbit holes, I kind of got into the law straw man, the legal fiction. And then one night, it was the end of December, and I don't remember, I was having a chill out moment and I was thinking about lots of things, and it just literally like a lightning bolt. And it kind of hit me, and I was like, oh my God, it's the fictional world for the fictional character. It's the straw man. And that is how they've managed. It's the business world. So I did do a Flat Earth Live because it's a very delicate subject. A lot of people are, it's one of the like hardest things for people to digest, that we're not living on a non-rotating level plane. So when I say flat, I don't mean a pancake, because that's the picture that comes into people's minds. But we're not spinning. And so, yeah, it was 2 years ago, and I've been meaning to do it, put something together, and it was kind of a bit written and a bit sort of but I was very nervous. But and I was just not expecting it to go crazy like that.
Well, you really nailed it when you connected the straw man to the fake globe, and the law that you said, there's a law that if you create it, you own it. So the creator and the maxim. But you said it very well, and you said God, and you opened it like I like to, whatever you want to, whatever that is to you. But that's nature. That's what we're born. Those are our rights, and they can't pervert that, but they can take it, and they can't do anything to it other than make something else from it, and then invite us over there. And they've invited us over there, and our parents stuck us in there. So it really resonated with me. I love it, and I've been trying to kind of bring up those points on interviews. So I thought it was fantastic.
It was falling into the straw man. A lot of people, there's a lot of people on the fence about the straw man. But either way, whichever way you look at it, whether you believe in the straw man or you don't, you still have what they call a person incorporated, which is your straw man, which is a business. So what they've done, and there is a maxim of law, he who creates it owns it. If you created something, you trademark it, it's yours. No one can take it away from you. No one can claim it because you made it. You own that. And that it just got me thinking, that's why they created you can't touch nature. You can't touch creation. They've been trying to do it. They've been trying to, for instance, create human robots, but they can't even do that because we are so magnificent. We are created to such perfection that the only time we go wrong is when there's an interference.
Yeah. Crow 777 Radio always says you can't, nature never lies. Nature never lies. So that's where the truth is. And when you say they created the globe, who's they? Who created the globe? Because I have an answer.
Yeah, I've not delved that deep, but whoever it is wanted to make a hell of a lot of money out of it, as well as take us away from who we really are. So I'd say they're a very powerful secret network, but I'm interested.
But here's the way I look at it, and I don't know if it'll trigger anybody or everyone will be like, yeah, that's amazing. You have God, the creator, and then you have evil, whatever you want to call evil, the devil, Satan. I think that the devil created the globe, and then all of the worshippers are making money off of it. All of the people that worship the devil, and those are all the people in our government and everywhere else. And so that's how they're pushing it. That's how so the top of the pyramid isn't the corporations, isn't the governments. It's literally evil.
Yeah.
Stealing away
and
God's creation.
Evil?
Yeah.
Stealing away God's creation. Yeah, and that's right. And what does evil always want? They want you to lose your way. They want you to lose your natural connection. They want to take you away from who you really are. And the best way to do that is to make you believe that you need all these material things, that you need to work all the hours under the sun to buy this material, because everything on the TV, on the mainstream media and everything, it's all selling you. It's a business. You're a business. Your mind is a business. In fact, our bodies, our own energy is a business. They make quite a lot, from us. So that's where I thought, well, they want to take us away from who we really are, because we are strong. We are stronger than we realize. Our minds are so powerful. And so they no longer want us to be creators. They want us to be dependent on them. And the only thing they want us to create is their corporations, which is why, you go to school, you get indoctrinated, you get a job, and you keep their business going. But that's where it kind of blew my mind, and I thought this is all part of the legal fiction, and we've become a legal fiction in a fictional world, and nothing exists. And this is why I said, when people finally realise that it's all a lie, that the globe is a fiction, and on that fiction they get away with selling you digital money doesn't exist, fraudulent mortgages, because they put you in a fake debt system, and the reality, you are paying for it, but it's all in a fake world. And they have globalists, because the globe is not real. Globalists aren't real. And what they're trying to do is all fiction. We have a global warming, and this is all created out of thin air. It doesn't exist, but you're given the illusion that it exists, because they want you to think we're running out of resources, so they need to create. Because if we're living on a ball, then you've got nowhere else to go. So you think, oh, they're right, they're running out of resources, so you don't know what's out there. And
when
that's
you
what
live on
they've
a
created.
Ball,
yeah.
When you live on a ball, you're trapped. There's nothing more. Just like in the Truman Show, there's nothing else to discover, Truman. It's all been discovered. And so that gives you a little bit of hopelessness. And then in their system, if you're successful, you work 5 days a week, you get 2 days off, and you're allowed to drink, watch sports, and get ready to go back again. And then getting on their fake drugs, the pharmaceutical drugs, and then when you retire, they want you dead as fast as possible. So it's an incredible system. And when I said before that the devil, is that the best word? Satan, is that a better word?
Yeah.
Created it. Well, if it was just like some royal families that made it, and they're like, hey, let's do this, let's trick them to this, I don't know how they could have put it all together. And if you look at all of the 666s everywhere, I mean, 6 times 6 times 600 is the circumference of the Earth, 0.666 inches per mile curve, orbiting at 66.6 miles per hour. 6 times 6 times 60 is the diameter of the moon. And if that's not enough, if you're a coincidence theorist, there's a whole list. Pause and take a look at that list. All sixes. Like, how would anybody even come up with that? And the other thing is, people that don't understand numerology and symbology and the power of words, they don't understand how this world works. I mean, we barely understand, but I know that my thoughts create my reality. If I focus on something I don't want, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get what I don't want. I'm going to bring that into my life. Your thoughts, whether they're positive or negative, are pulling in that frequency. And the way they get away with this is most people are like, well, I don't believe that. Well, you don't believe it doesn't make it not true. Your ignorance doesn't make something not true. And and then I also think that they want to keep the population down, because as we grow in numbers, our collective consciousness, maybe that's called the Akashic records or something, our collective consciousness gets stronger and stronger. So they want to keep that population down. So they do everything to depopulate us from, the thing that they stick in you, and wars. And, I say the biggest population control is not abortion. It's not birth control. It's not war. It's not disease. It's financial fear. Because people in first world countries, they either don't have kids or don't have more kids because they can't afford college. And college is just another scam to make you more indoctrinated and be a good little worker slave. They don't teach you anything useful in college. Now, if you want to become a surgeon, a trauma surgeon, yes, you got to go learn about that. Go learn about that. You don't need to go and take accounting too to become a surgeon. So,
Yep. I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah, that's it. And I encourage everybody, do not go to college. Do not send your kids to college. Let them find what they want to do. Expose them to good stuff. Go ahead.
But that's what they do. As soon as little, children from when they start to walk and they go to preschool or nursery, they've got this globe there, haven't they? So indoctrination. But children are very level-headed, aren't they? And they've got very critical thinking there, because they're so new to everything, and they're learning. And even the first question they say is, well, how do they not fall off the bottom of the globe? And that every child will say that most children, I believe, well, how are they not falling off? How are they not sliding off? And then they come out with all this, gravity and, we're in a pressured gravity system, and it's just.
So people don't understand that, your thoughts put you on a trajectory for an incredible life journey. And then you can change that trajectory by thinking something else. And so if you're going in a bad direction, you can think yourself in another direction. But here's something that set me, and I didn't know it for many, many years. I didn't become a flat earther until 2014. And my earliest school memory, like when you're a kid in kindergarten and first grade, do you remember many specific things from that? Maybe you do, maybe some. But my most distinct memory and it was either kindergarten or first grade, the teacher brought us outside to teach us about gravity. And he got a bucket of water and a rope and swung it around and showed you how the water didn't come out. He says, that's gravity. And as a little kid, I said, but if we're on a ball and the water's on the outside of the ball, wouldn't you have to turn the bucket the other way? And the teacher goes, he had a big beard. He goes like this. He goes over to his textbook. He comes back, and his textbook has one thing I remember about it. It had like highlights in all different colors and lines and notes. And it was like very old, very used by either himself or multiple teachers. And he goes, this is how they tell me to teach it. So that's how I'm going to teach it. But you keep asking questions. And then I went off and played on the swings. That's all I remember. And then it wasn't until 2014 that kind of kicked in. And I find it odd that that's my earliest childhood memory.
Well, how did you get into it then? So am I right? You went to debunk flat Earth and you fell into it.
We all did. You heard about flat Earth. You're like, this is stupid. Let me look. And I was doing a podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, looking at all the other big deceptions in the world, all the false flags, everything. And we're exposing that. And that was a big podcast. It was going viral. And people started sending me flat Earth stuff. And I was just like, you're an idiot. Banned for life, banned for life, banned for life. It was me. I came up with banned for life. Okay. And I just banned people for life. And then finally, Sophia Smallstorm, another researcher who I trust very much, we're on a long phone call. And she goes, David, I think the Earth might be flat. And I'm like, I just couldn't believe she said that. And she goes, here, watch this. And she sent me Mark Sargent's Clues and I think an Eric Dubay video. And I watched it with a bad attitude because I was just watching it to show you how stupid it was. And then I was like, And then at that time, YouTube would like, here, watch this. Here, watch this. And all good stuff. And I was like, for 2 weeks, I didn't sleep. I was like, I couldn't get enough. And at the end of 2 weeks, I'm like, oh my God, the Earth is flat. I mean, this is incredible. And then for me, that was big. Because through my whole life, I disregarded anything spiritual, religious. I mean, maybe spiritually, but I didn't believe in God. I believed in evolution. I believed we evolved from pond scum. And now looking back at that, it's like, how was I ever that stupid to think those things? But when I found out about the Earth being flat, it just clicked. I remember the night it just clicked. I'm like, that means there's a creator. And like everything, my entire world stopped. And I had to rewire everything. And it's all for the better. And a lot of people with big egos and they'll have a really hard time with this because people say they don't like the rug being yanked out from underneath them. Well, how about the entire globe being yanked out from underneath you? But the good thing is you land on a solid surface that's not moving, very stable, and you're connected to it. It's way better than the globe, and it brings you happiness, and it brings you a lot of things. My friend Keith, he came up with a why the lie, and he said there's 3 things. He said he asked a bunch of people and he got basically 3 answers. What has flat Earth done for your well-being? Because, everyone's like, what difference does it make? I still have to go to work on Monday. And, what has it done for you? And the 3 things are more peace. Aren't you more peace now that you know?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, there's no asteroids that are going to get us. It's no, that goes into nuclear bombs. We find out about that. And we're not running out of water. We're not running out of fuel. It's just like, wow, greater sense of freedom because I I'm not. I don't participate in any lockdowns, and I have great curiosity of what's out there, and the world is way more interesting, and a closer connection to the Creator. I mean, I had almost none consciously that I knew of, and now every day is a day that I'm like, thanks God, thanks to the Creator every day.
It does. It aligns you. It's kind of spiritually aligns you. You've literally come back to reality, because this is the reality. You know, if you imagine it like an out of body experience, it's your mind has already been outside of your body in one sense, because your mind has been on a fictional world which doesn't exist, and all of a sudden you've literally recentered. You're like, oh my God, and your senses. And then what I found from that is, well, not only did it spiritually align, and I now look at the world, the skies, everything. I look at everything with a different sort of perspective and a different energy to it, because it is created. It didn't just happen. There is a magnificent divine hand, whoever that is for you, you know, be it God, source, whatever you want to call it. But obviously it's very, very apparent. I mean, you know, what surprises me the most is people that do believe in God but can't get their heads around a globe and flat earth. I just think, how is that?
Are you aware of the big debate that's coming up on December 2nd between Pastor Greg Locke and Dean Odle?
No.
So here in America, there's a pastor, Greg Locke, in Nashville, Tennessee, and he has a mega church, seats 3,000 people. He has millions of people that watch his sermons online, millions. He put a number out of 3 million, and he streams on all these different platforms. So it's a mega church. It's like a Joel Osteen. I don't know. I assume you know who he is. And he had a meltdown because his congregation, you know, was coming up to him and saying, you know, hey, flat earth, flat earth, flat earth. And he's like, so he had a meltdown. Flat earth is stupid. He just total meltdown. And then he came back the next sermon, and he's like, and because people still kept coming at him, he's like, I'm going to have Pastor Dean Odle on, who does great flat earth sermons, and we're going to have a debate. And he says, I'll talk for about an hour, and he can have as much time as he wants, and we'll live stream it. December 2nd, this is happening. Since then, the guy's had 2 more meltdowns, like unbelievable flat earth meltdowns. And he was going, after December 2nd, we will not talk about this anymore at this church. Blah, blah, blah. And he went for an applause. He's got thousands of people there, and like 7 people applauded. His entire congregation is going to wake up to the reality, the biblical reality of flat earth, right?
Yeah.
Flat earth has a scientific reality. Right, the globe is scientifically provenly impossible, and he just wants to face the Bible. Well, I can't find a verse in the Bible that's not talking about flat Earth.
Yes, yeah, and it's in there, absolutely.
Yeah,
I found it to be the most amazing thing. I mean, the fact that we can't experience and go to places like Antarctica on our own, because, you know, all of a sudden they care about the penguins. When have they ever cared about anything? And now, right, after lands were discovered, a year later, a treaty comes up, and, you know, we need to protect the penguins. Have you blurred out?
My camera is auto focusing out, so I'm still here. There I am. There I am.
Yeah. Oh, there you are. But you know, no one can explore Antarctica freely. But we've got the Rothschilds. They're allowed to have an island there. That's interesting, you know.
Rothschild Island and Deception Island. If you want to go to Antarctica, that's where they take you, to Rothschild Island and Deception Island. Isn't that fascinating?
More money that they can make. And let's look.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
No, I was going to say, you know, we're not allowed to go to the North Pole or the South Pole on you know, there's, well, I can go to the South Pole. You go on a guided tour to this little tip way out on that peninsula, and you don't even get near the real shoreline. There's no independent exploration anywhere. Now the Globe Trolls are like, oh, yes, you can. No, you can't. We can't. We've gone over it. On my app, on the Antarctica page, there's a great video called Sorry, Antarctica's Closed, done by a flat earther who is a lawyer, who's got a master's degree. And he shows you all of the red tape that you'd have to go through, and then you're still not going to be able to go. You spend a ton of money. But the thing I find interesting is you're not allowed to physically go and explore, and you're not allowed to virtually go and explore. Here's Google Earth. I just measured South America. It gave me the square miles. But if I try to do Antarctica, have you seen this?
Ah.
When I try to do Antarctica, look what it does. It does this weird. It's going around it. It won't connect over here and tell me what's inside here. It's only telling me what's out here.
So that's because they don't want you to know.
It's because they took the outside of the ball and wrapped it around, right? If we go up, the same thing. If you go up to the North Pole, and we'll make a circle, we'll make an area here, and let's take a look at that area. It does the same thing. That's the only two spots. So you can't go there virtually, and you can't go there physically. Isn't that interesting?
That is very interesting. That is absolutely. And you would think with modern day technology, right, with all these satellites up in so-called space, that they could absolutely shut this conversation down and say, right, let's do a live aerial view from one of these satellites to anywhere in the world. You know
where the greatest place for a live stream platform would be? The moon. The moon is magically always facing the Earth. So it rotates, but it always faces the Earth. So you put a camera there facing the Earth, live stream it, right? Because it's always facing the Earth, live stream it, and put corporate logos on there so they can pay for the whole thing. NASA would make money off of that because $80 million a day isn't enough. They can make money off of the most watched live stream. They can film eclipses from there. No, nothing. This is the Earth. Now, a globe believer will look at this and see a ball. I see a pond. I see a pond with islands. And what's out here? We don't know what's out here. Is this all frozen? Is there land? Is there other ponds? And what they did for our mind is they just cut it out. They wrapped it around a ball, and they said, you can't go to this white area except for this little tip right here. You can go right there, but you can't go explore any of this. And that's down at the bottom of a ball. That's how they hid reality from us, right? You're not allowed to go here because of the ice and because of the penguins. And if you take that and say, whoops, it goes way back out, fills out, and what's out there? I want to know.
I'd like to know. And what happens when you try to go on these, individual adventures?
Well,
if you tried,
there was a fishing boat that went, and they were turned around, and there was a couple other documented explorers that got permission from their countries to go, and when they got there, they were turned around. Their boats were seized. They were put in jail. They lost their captain's license. Nobody can go. But even if they let you go, if you got there, where are you going? How are you going to trek out there? What if this is thousands and thousands and thousands of miles of dark ice, no food, no nothing? You need millions and millions of dollars in supplies and create fueling depots and all sorts of things. It's not something that you can easily do. But I personally don't think it's more than maybe 1,000 miles, maybe 5,000 miles, maybe less, before you find something else, before you find other ponds, other lands. If you believe in Admiral Byrd, he said he found land bigger than the United States beyond the South Pole. That would be pretty hard to hide, if you ask me. But
yeah, absolutely.
Filled with resources. So there you go.
Can I just say, right, one of your most amazing scenes was when you spoke to that old lady, 102 years old, and you brought her back to the reality because she knew the Earth was flat when she was a child.
Yeah. Yeah, that was Ruth. That was in 2020. And I was interviewing her about the World's Fairs. I didn't even mention Flat Earth. And she had such a sharp mind and just knew everything. She remembered everything as a little girl. And I said, what did they teach you in school about the Earth? And she goes, they taught me the Earth was flat. I never mentioned Flat Earth to her. And I was like, hold on, let me get my camera. And I interviewed her, and we talked about it, and she broke down in tears. It was, she's like, I've always known. And that was an amazing thing. And that went really viral. It's going everywhere still. It was
beautiful.
It was amazing. Yeah.
So how do you deal with people who struggle? Like, what do you say? Oh, that's it. Absolutely.
Just if anyone that has my
amazing.
App, on my app, go to the new video search and just type in Ruth, and you'll find all the videos on Ruth. It's amazing. She's amazing. I got to give her a call, see if she's still kicking.
So yeah, when you sort of try and introduce people, especially people that are really struggling to process it in their heads, what kind of sort of things do you talk to them about to help them understand?
It's different for everybody. Sometimes, showing somebody a biblical thing is what's going to bring them, and that would scare somebody else away. For me, it was the boats over the horizon. That because I live on the water and I've seen boats go over the horizon. But then when I had it explained to me, that's what brought me around. And other people, it's sunsets. When you explain how we see and how the horizon that could be 10, 20,000 feet over your head looks like it's at your eye level, everything goes to your horizontal eye zone. But the boats over the horizon was the one that got me. So everyone says, what's the best? And I'm like, are you willing to watch a 35-minute movie? Are you willing to watch an hour movie? Do you only have 2 minutes? What is it?
Yeah.
If I show you there's no curvature, will that work? If I show you, that you can't see boats, but when you zoom in, all of a sudden there they are, and then showing you how the waves create a false horizon. Look, that boat's below the horizon. Oh, wait a minute. No, now it's not. This boat's below the horizon. Yeah. But then the boat will come back up and you'll see the water beyond the boat. That's just the waves. On a physical ball, no matter what size it is, it has a limit of vision due to physical curvature, period. And on the clearest of days, you can't see farther than that limit of vision, right? Because if the horizon is 3 miles away, I don't care how clear it is, you can't see 4 miles because there's a physical thing in your way. This is an optical horizon with physical things changing. And people are just like, no, the earth is so big that you're like a microbe on a basketball and it looks flat. And we're all programmed with that. Everybody knows that one. And the truth is, they say, well, the earth is too big. You can't see the curvature, but they want you to believe that boats are going over the horizon. And yeah, they want everything. They want you to believe a lot of things. But if we use their math, the curvature formula is wrong. We're using the Pythagorean theorem on their radius. There's no thing wrong with it, especially anything under 1,000 miles, but even 10 miles, 66 feet of curvature in 10 miles, 6 feet of curvature in just 3 miles, 6 feet in just 3 miles. That doesn't sound like it's too big to see curvature to me. If you're on the West Coast somewhere and watching the sunset over the ocean, if you're sitting down, that horizon where the sun is going behind is like 2 miles away. If you're standing up 3 miles away, if you're laying down a mile away. Okay. But when you're looking at it out there, that's much farther than that. But if there's big waves, it is closer because those waves close by will hide the distant horizon and create a false horizon for you.
I think it's absolutely fascinating. And I spent hours and hours and hours researching it, watching videos. And then what happened was that I realized by watching all the videos of, yourself and Eric and everyone, that I had questions I didn't even know I wanted to ask. I was like, oh, wow, I didn't, because you just automatically think, oh yeah, we're spinning, that's it, and there's planets, and you don't ask questions. And then it wasn't until I started to watch these videos, I thought, that's a good question. That's a good thing. I didn't even realize I wanted to ask these questions. And so then I went out and saw it for myself, the localized sun rays. I thought, well, yeah, it makes sense. You can't have localized sun rays if the sun is 93 million miles away. Curvature, now even when I drive, I look and I see as far as I can, and so it could be miles, and I realize I shouldn't be able to see that, or it should be bent. It should start bending at some point. It's amazing.
The whole crepuscular rays thing is the problem that people have, a glober, they'll look at the crepuscular rays and go, well, if you do the geometry, that means the cloud's right above the sun is right above the clouds. Well, in my world, they're right. The sun that we see is right above the clouds, but a plane flies higher than just above the clouds. Well, yeah, but when you go up, the sun that you see, like a rainbow, isn't where it is. It's where you see it. You see it in your personal atmospheric dome. It moves as you move. But if we go all the way up to 120,000 feet, oops, that's not it. Where am I going here? If we go all the way up to 120,000 feet, where's my thing? Which is right here, the sun appears to be at about 120,000 feet. We never see the sun over us when we send a balloon up. It's always right there, local hotspot. And it's, and this is just the cloud deck. Isn't it amazing? Whenever we send up a balloon, the Earth turns kind of white just because the atmosphere just becomes opaque. But when NASA sends somebody up, we have Technicolor globes, and planets and green fields, and amazing how light just is. They must have some great cameras, NASA.
Oh, absolutely. CGI, wasn't it? It was what's his name that said it? Elon Musk. It must be.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake.
Yeah, that's right. And he said it himself.
Yeah.
They are telling us.
Yeah, you can tell it's fake because it is so fake.
Yeah. And they've actually admitted, one, we've never ever left Earth's firmament because they can't.
Right.
And that they've never been to the moon since. I mean, India did on the little Atari. Do you remember the Atari games? Do you remember the old, when you was a child, you used to play with these?
I had that
little games.
That's exactly what I saw when India did the moon landing. Amazing.
It was just amazing. I mean, I was waiting for the cow to jump over the moon at the same time. Thought, wow.
Right.
But it was brilliant. I just thought, and people are actually lapping this up. And then, funny enough, I read, and the things they come out with, like you say, the asteroids. And the next one was that they're going to make satellites out of wood, so they become more ozone friendly or something like that. I thought, oh wow, and people buy this. That's it, the little Atari.
Yeah. This is a great psyop that they did, because they showed us this for the live footage of it flying. And the Globers come out, they're like, oh, you thought that was real, you stupid flat earther. But then the next day or later, they show the rover coming out. They show the rover coming out of what's going on here? They show the rover coming out of the lander, which is a video of a rover. Well, this is the landing. And one thing about this, the landing, as they land, these craters don't get any bigger. Oh, I just made myself disappear. There you go. And now I'm back. These craters don't get bigger. Like, it's traveling sideways and all of a sudden it just lands. How did it stop that sideways momentum? And why didn't the craters get bigger? But if you look at the lander, I'm trying to find a thing. I keep going the wrong way. Why do I keep turning myself off? There I am. I'm back. All right. So here it is. India rover. All right. So
oh my goodness.
they showed us this. Now, this is a briefcase with some tinfoil on it and some wheels, okay? But they show us this, and now your mind had a trick played on it. First, you saw that animation. That's obviously an animation of fake. Then you saw this. This must be real. And people are like, well, this is real. Of course, they showed us an animation. It's all fake. This was filmed in a studio. They're like, well, what can we use? Well, let me use your briefcase for a second, Joe. And do you have any tinfoil? Sure. And and grab these little plastic wheels. It's so dumb. I wonder what's in there. Like, what is it? What's in there?
All of the money they're hiding.
I wish I didn't load the picture yet, but they just said that one of the tool belts that the astronauts was using got let go, and they lost it from the International Space Station, and it's orbiting the Earth now. And they showed a picture of it, and it's literally like this box with the straps. But if you look at the straps, it's a snake's head, curly tail. It's a snake. So they're showing us that NASA is the serpent.
They absolutely are. And did you the moon landing? I mean, obviously, waking up to the fact that we're not living on a spinning ball took away all the the fantasy of other planets, because I was very mesmerized by all that. Now I realize it's all.
Here's the China. I think this is either moon or Mars. Look at that.
No.
Yeah, that's what they showed us. That's what they showed us. I think it's better than India. They did better than India. You got to give it to them.
And this is what people's taxes. Yeah, this is what people's taxes are paying for. It's crazy.
How people don't see it. I have some, like, there's some people in my local town. There's one guy, he thinks he's so smart. He believes in the moon landing, in the globe, and he's got these groups he's on, and he's just going after me as a shyster, as dangerous. I'm infecting weak people's minds, and I'm like, he's just projecting his own nonsense. And you asked earlier, like, how do you deal with people? I don't know how to deal with them. I ended up just blocking him on Facebook because he's an energy suck. There's like no, feel free. You're just going to wake more people up to flat Earth because of what you're saying. People are going to look and they're going to see. I'm sorry that you can't.
So what do you think?
Yay.
It's crazy. Absolutely. What do you think is in the North Pole? Because there is a very strong magnetic field there. So what do you think it's in the center?
Everyone keeps asking me that recently. And there's that old video that showed like the vortex is like hole.
Yeah.
That rings true to me. I don't have any proof that it's true. It rings true. And then there's one video that shows that vortex, and you could see a mountain tip sticking up and the wind actually going around it. When they show it, you can see that it's blocking the wind. And they're claiming that is Mount Meru, and it's bigger than Mount Everest. But they don't want us to know that. Hey, that sounds good to me. I don't have proof. I only seen that one video or two videos. We would like to be able to go there. Bring airships back. We want airships back.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to go there.
Not ships like this, not homeless tweaker shelters. we want airships. Here, I got a question for you. Besides the fact that the camera pans up, now the nozzle is down here, the jet nozzle, and so there's two guys in here. They leave the nozzle there. There's no propulsion. So what is it, like a skeet shoot? They shoot it, and it's just going to go up, and it's gonna meet the rover, the orbiter that's going 2,000 miles an hour around the Earth. How is it going to meet? How is it going to slow down? How are they going to connect? What if the guy sneezes? Will that thing start tumbling from the momentum of a sneeze? Because when I'm on my boat floating in the water, if I walk across the boat will move. If it's like in perfectly calm water. So you're in space, you have no resistance, no water. Any movement you make is going to be transferred into the movement of this thing. How'd they get the film? I mean, there's so many things with the moon landing. It is it's unreal.
It is.
It's unreal.
And And we're the first man to land on the moon, Neil Armstrong. Neil, I was doing a thing the other day. Someone put Neil A, and if you spell Neil A backwards, have you ever looked into that? It spells alien, but in between alien, it tells you it's a lie.
Yeah,
and it's also alien, which means, did they go and put alien on the moon? Did they, virtually make people believe that by putting a fake flag on a fake moon landing, they took possession? They put alien of possession, and that's why they can.
Yeah. Did he change his name? Do we have any evidence of that? Did they pick him because of his name? Isn't he the one that his mother killed herself after the fake moon landing? One of them, I think it was Neil. His mother was just so upset about something, and she ended up killing herself. And they didn't publicize that at all. She, in my opinion, found out that her son's a big liar and couldn't deal with it, and killed herself. I used to show this a lot, and it's the same photo for 8, 11, and 12. I think 8 was a typo. It's supposed to be 9 because 8 never went to the moon. It was just a fat finger because the file name it says 9, 11, and 12. But a recent Globe, an anti-flat Earth troll called me out and said, they didn't even go to the moon. He didn't address the fact that the picture from 11 and 12 were the same. He's claiming that they're all from the same moon landing, but these were taken from either NASA's website or New York Times, a mainstream site. Now, maybe they got confused. Maybe they mixed up the pictures. So again, I went back looking for these recently, and I can't find any of them. They've changed everything. There's been so many times where we've done stuff and NASA has changed, and they changed it on the Wayback Machine. Like, it's no longer on the Wayback Machine. The Wayback Machine is supposed to be an archive of everything that's been on the internet, and it's been changed. We caught Elon Musk, one of his landings, and one of the rockets went up, and it's coming down. It's got the 2 cameras, and they made a mistake. They had the wrong image in one of the cameras, and we pointed it out from their live stream that had over 1 million views. And the next day, we saved it, luckily. The next day, the live stream changed. They changed it, and it didn't. When you change a live stream, it says not a live stream anymore. It says this was a video. But they were able to change it, still have it listed as a live stream. So now live streams don't even prove anything. Right? They don't. How are they able to do that? And now with AI and all that, the timing of that stuff coming out is because we're showing too many things that are provably fake. Yeah. And now they're like, well, that's just AI, that's just a voice changer, and they're making it more and more difficult for people to discern what is real and what's not real.
Do you remember that they, I remember before 9/11, you used to be able to go and see the pilot. You could ask for permission to go and see the pilot, go in the cockpit, and, talk to them. But there was so many people asking the pilots and getting the answer. The pilots were telling them, yes, it's flat, and their training manuals is also to a flat plane. And I believe that's why they used 9/11 to say, right, no one for the reasons of safety is allowed to go and see the pilots anymore, even though you could kick that door down in no second. If a terrorist really wanted to get through the door, it's a very thin door. But I believe that was their way of stopping people going to see the pilots to question them.
Well, when you're exiting the plane, a lot of times the pilot is there, and a lot of people have been going up and asking, "Hey, is the Earth flat?" And a lot of them are like, "Yeah, it's flat. It's flat." Some of them are very nervous and everything. But we recently put out a video. If you go on my app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, if you go to the frequently asked questions and you go to our all pilots and scientists in on it, click that, and then you scroll down. There's a video right here. 3 hours, 28 pilots admitting the Earth is flat. So, are all pilots in on it? No, these guys know. These guys are speaking out. All of the pilots from Qantas Airlines, they all know because they're on those southern routes. They all figured it out, but they all say that they can't talk about it publicly or they'll lose their job. We had a a pilot from, I think it was KLM, a female pilot, on the Globebuster show years ago. And she explained how the Earth is flat, it's non-rotating, just showed how it's impossible for it to be a ball. Next day, she was grounded. Boom. So it's scary, but I had a pilot who's still in the closet, who's in charge of a, let's just say a large, he's in at the head of a big pilot group. I'm trying not to give away his name. And he contacted me. He knows the Earth is flat. And he gave my information to a bunch of other pilots for big airlines, American Airlines, JetBlue, KLM. And they've all contacted me. So I've got 20 pilots in my phone that are, and but this is great. And I said this a few times, but this is great. Laura, when you're on a long drive with a friend who has no idea about flat Earth, let's say you've got 2 hours in the car, all you want to do is just teach them about flat Earth, right? We can't help ourselves.
Absolutely.
So if you're a pilot, and let's say you've got a 10-hour flight, you take off, autopilot's on, you got 9 hours and 50 minutes before you got to do anything, or nine and a half hours, right? So you're sitting there, you're just going to flat smack the pilot for 9 hours, the co-pilot. And that's what these guys are doing. They say their goal on each flight is to turn their co-pilot into a flat earther on that one flight. And so they've got it. They've got images. They got books. They're literally flat smacking. So pilots are waking up faster than anybody else right now. And so since pilots are afraid to speak out, what happens when all of the pilots know? And then they all go, all right, we're all going to come out at the same time. What, are they going to ground all the pilots? No, they can't. So, if you're a pilot and you're listening and the Earth is flat, next flight, you need to wake up your co-pilot. And don't just say, hey, the Earth is flat. Say, you ever wonder why we don't have to account for curvature? The SR-71, I like that. It goes 2,300 miles per hour, the spy plane. It would have to drop 80 stories every second. 80 stories a second. That would push the pilot to the ceiling like a pancake, right? 80 stories a second just to follow the curve of the Earth. People can't fathom what that is, so they don't bother thinking about it. So,
have you found that since 2020, since the lockdowns and the COVID stuff, that more people have woken up to this?
Oh, 100%. They're people have more time. People are working from home. People are starting to question government. But there's also still the NPCs out there that just can't wait for their next jibby jab boost. And I saw a very funny and sad meme the other day. It says, "Don't argue with anti-vaxxers. Just wait."
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
I mean,
absolutely.
No. Hold on. I said that wrong. I'm sorry. Don't argue with a pro-vaxxer. Don't argue with somebody that. Just wait. Just wait.
Yeah.
And
the truth will speak for itself. It is absolutely, and that's what is going on. Sadly, but I'm glad that I did fall down these rabbit holes. In fact, I was so embarrassed because a friend of mine, when I started falling into the COVID shenanigans, and I was like screaming from the top, speaking to everyone, "No, you've got to listen, this is," and he said, "Oh, you're turning into one of those conspiracy theorists." He said, "I hope you're not, what did he say?" He said, "Oh, I suppose you think the Earth is flat." And I said, "No, don't be stupid. Everybody knows it's round." Didn't think anything of it. And again, I didn't, the penny wasn't there. There was nothing. It was like, but I started to question. And that's when I eventually did come up against a flat Earth smacked in my face. I was thinking, no, what is going on? When I looked into it, I hid all my pages that I was following. I decided I'm going to start following some flat Earth pages, but I don't want anyone to know because it's crazy. I was that embarrassed. I actually hid the pages I was following, and I was like, no, but I need to know. Nobody can make a logical decision, or you come to a logical conclusion until you research it yourself. And that's what I decided. I can't say it's wrong because I don't know what the other side's like. So I need to go there and look at it. And that's when I realized, oh, wow, it was amazing. It was just the most amazing feeling.
A fun thing to do is, you ever have somebody's phone or their computer, if you're using it for a moment, just go to their Facebook and subscribe them to as many Flat Earth channels and groups as possible, and then just walk away. So, I don't know. I know what you're talking about. So it's
so has it just become a massive passion for you as well? Obviously, you've got the podcast. It became,
Laura, it became a reality where I saw where this world is going and how insane it is, and that we're literally wasting our divinity, and we're lost in this fake world. You said it so well in your video. For those of you that haven't seen her video, well, I'm gonna splice it to the end of this when I upload it on YouTube. I realized that if somebody doesn't do anything, and that we're all going into the dark ages, it's going to be really hell. You'll own nothing and be happy. No, you'll own nothing and live in a box and be a slave for the rest of your life, and so are your kids. And so I walked away from everything. I had a great business and everything, and I literally walked away from everything I worked my entire life for, the dream that that everybody has, and I had it all, and I walked away because I couldn't take it. But the Creator has my back, and I couldn't do this without divine guidance. And I just take every day as a blessing. And if I wake up one person, I'm thrilled. If I wake up 1,000 people, I'm thrilled. It changes people's lives. People people go on the FriendFinder. The people have already had babies because they've met each other on the FriendFinder. Have you looked at my app?
I downloaded it, but I haven't had a chance to have a proper look at it.
Yeah, so on the app, there's a thing called the FriendFinder, and it shows you all of the other people around you that are flat earthers, and you can click on them. You can look at their You can look at their profile. It's like a Facebook profile. I'll show you that in a second. Here, let's look at the UK. That. These are the people in the UK. Look how many there are.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, these are flat earthers just in the UK. They're everywhere. In America, it's crazy. I was gonna say America was gonna be a big blue dot. It's gonna turn into a big black dot because they're all on top of each other. So this is the way people are getting together. They're having meetups. We're going into South America. Look at Johannesburg. I've done a bunch of radio shows in there. And every time I do, more and more dots pop up. Everywhere. These people are everywhere. Australia, New Zealand, out on these little islands in the middle of nowhere. And we even have a guy in Antarctica right there at Casey Station. And
that's so funny.
And so these are all the people near me. I can click on somebody and look at their profile. I can do all sorts of stuff. But if we take a look at my profile, just to show you what it looks like. And the profile thing is pretty new. People that, if you're listening to this, you have the app, load your profile, put in some photos, put in some stuff, put in some information about yourself. And in the about section, put everything you want people to know about you, what you do, keywords, because people will be able to search. Let's say I wanted to move to the UK, to wherever, and I type in the area I want to go and real estate broker. Any flat earth real estate broker that's there will show up. I can friend them. I can message them like, hey, can you help me find a place to buy or rent? And so I've got 10 friend requests right here. I can search people by username, by keywords. And then you also have a wall where you can put up some information, some pictures. This is just evolving. Soon you're gonna be able to comment and like and share and all sorts of stuff. But right now it's very basic, but it's just a great way to meet like-minded people. Every blue dot on that map that I just showed you, you have more in common with them than any dating site, any job site, any random party that you go to, because they're all awake and aware. They all get it. And let's say I want to do a long distance laser mirror flash or something. I can say, well, I'm right over. Let's say I was over here. I say, well, I could probably do a mirror flash to this guy over here, or from here to there. And so I can message that person like, hey, any of you guys are interested in doing an experiment? Sure. And they're boom right there. And now you can do these flat earth experiments. It's just a great way to meet people. And also, it's a great tool to share information. Let's say you're talking to somebody and they're like, So I go to the images section. You got all these images. So you want to show somebody, you say, well, what does the flat Earth really look like? The map look like? So you just type in map, and here are all the flat Earth maps, and you can open them up, share them. You can show people how it works. You say, well, what about, you talk about flight routes. So you just type in flight.
Because they make sense on a flat Earth, the flat flight routes.
The southern, the southern flight route. So I just type in southern, SOU. That's all I need to put in. And here are the flight routes. So, why does this flight go all the way up here and then all the way down? Could have just gone across here. Well, if you look at it on a flat Earth map, it's pretty much a straight line, and you can zoom in and you could share the images. If you're talking to somebody and you want to send them an image, you can just share it. Just hit the share button right there. And you could also say, I want to send someone a whole bunch. Just hit select images, pick up to 5 images, and then text them, email them, Dropbox them. What I love doing is if I go to a concert, I have a whole bunch of memes set in my photos, and then I airdrop them to everybody that's near me. Just randomly airdrop. Or if you have an iPhone, and so they all of a sudden they're on people's phones. It's pretty funny.
That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I love that app. I'm definitely going to have to look at it a bit more.
And because YouTube won't feed you any good flat Earth, you trip flat Earth, David Weiss, Laura Nina, you're going to get nothing. You're going to get Professor Dave. You're going to get Simon Dan. You're going to get all of these people they're pushing out there that are just deceivers. They're either paid or possessed, either way. But right here, I've added video search, and it's fully functional on iOS right now. It's partially functional on Android. We'll have that up hopefully soon. We're just trying to get a last little things. Let's say, what's that video? Oh, that was that Laura. That was it, Laura Nina. They remember the so just type in Nina, Nina, and let's see what we come up with. I say search, and up comes there are the 2 videos.
Oh, you've got me
Laura
there.
Nina.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, it's
brilliant.
in the search. Anything that's been on the app, and even things that have not been on the app, will turn up in the search. But none of the nonsense that YouTube was talking about. Let's say Dave Weiss was on InfoWars, so we'll just type in info. Just type info. Maybe that'll do it.
Is he a flat earther? He's not, is he?
He is a secret flat earther, if you ask me. He tried to plan a trip. Look, InfoWars. Here's all the stuff. Anything. Well, I probably should have put wars in there, but too many things under info. So let's try InfoWars. WARS. Try this one word. I forget how I did. There it is. There's my interview on InfoWars. So again, when you're trying to find videos, this is the best way, and it's only going to get better and better. So there you go. It does a lot. Books. Hey, here's some great books. 16 Emergency Landings. Eric DeBay's Flat Earth Frequently Asked Questions. I actually think that's a great book. I have it right here. It's a great coffee table book, especially for the holidays. Put that on your coffee table, and anyone that comes over will pick it up, will become a flat earther.
I love that.
Amazing.
I love that.
Yeah. And then there's shopping, if you're looking for stuff. Oh, look, I've got some new shirts. A little pop-up right there. Don't show again. This is my t-shirt shop, and this is my Level Earther shirt, if you can see it.
Yeah.
And then other flat Earth related items, just fun stuff. If anyone has a flat Earth related quality item that people will love, I will put it in the store for free. Just email me. Go to flatearthdave.com, contact Dave, tell me what you got. Let me look at it. If I love it, it goes in the store for free.
That's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. And it does.
And this is what you've done. So since coming away from your job, this is what you put your passion into.
Yeah, when I thought about leaving my job, I was like, this is crazy. And I was like, well, because I'm making a lot of money. And I was like, well, the app is making a little bit of money. And I said, can it serve? Well, if I go dedicate more time to selling the app, and I'm not selling the app to sell the app. I'm selling the app because it's waking up people. A byproduct of that is I make some money. And guess what? 99% of that money goes right back into the app because the development costs are insane and the server costs. But I went home and I paid my bills that night, and literally a check that just come in from Apple covered my bills to the dollar. To the dollar. And I was like, okay, that's a sign. I asked for 2 more. I asked for another sign. I got a crazy one. I asked for another sign, kicked me in the head. I was like, okay, I'm out. I'm going. It was crazy. But if you have the app, also right here, the app is $3, one-time charge. You have it forever. It does all the stuff. You can get the FriendFinder. The FriendFinder will be on there. You can receive messages, but you can't send messages. You can't make a profile or view profiles unless you're a subscriber. The subscription is $11 a year. That's it, $11 a year. But if you don't want to pay it, you can just click this button right here. That's your referral button, and it'll show you a random number here. That'll be your referral number. Just change it to something. You can change yours to Laura. I don't know, El Nina, whatever. Anything up to 7 characters. And then when you tell someone about the app, if they put in your number, your app will do a little dance, but then your number will climb. And when you have 11 or more, you can trade in 11 for a year subscription.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So some people are asking, I don't know if you've got it there, how do the seasons work on a flat Earth?
The seasons are the best. And I'm going to show you, but the seasons button right here, the app is worth it just for that. But the seasons are very easy. So the sun travels in between. And by the way, seasons prove the Earth is flat, not a globe. Okay. So think about this. Here's the Earth, and the Earth is 8,000, just under 8,000 miles in diameter. Okay. Diameter, not circumference, diameter. The sun is 186,000 miles in diameter. So I'm holding this ball here, and the entire wall is the sun and way more. I mean, it's just like incredible. So all that energy, all that light is coming. And so they tell us just because we're tilted away, that's going to change the season. Think about this. During the course of one day, the sun on the horizon is the most tilted away you could be from the sun. But in June here in Connecticut, when the sun is rising on the horizon, I could feel the heat on my face immediately.
Yeah.
In December, at the height of the day where the sun is at its highest point for the day, I could look at the sun. I can't even feel the heat on my face. And they also tell us in the helio-nonsensical BS model that the sun is 3.5 million miles closer to us in the north during our winter. So it's 3.5 million miles closer. At noon on December, the sun's up there. I can barely feel the heat on my face. 3.5 million miles farther in June, the sun, I'm tilted all the way away from the sun at sunrise, and I can feel the sun on my face. So how does the season work? So the outer, I'll make this bigger so people can see it. And
the fact is, the closer you get to the sun, you should feel warmer. So the higher up you go, you should feel warmer. But in actual fact, it gets colder, and that's why you have snow on the tops of the mountains.
And that's because the sun isn't sending heat. It's sending electricity. And it has to interact with something. So it has to interact with matter. There's less air up there. So it's not interacting. And then the Earth is picking up that energy and heating up. So the outer yellow line, I can't reach them when it's big like that. The outer yellow line where the sun is right there. So I'm going to jump forward right now from November to December. So in December, the sun is all the way out over the Tropic of Capricorn. So it goes right over Australia. It goes right over South Africa. So if I called somebody in South Africa right now and I said, where's the sun and what time is it? They would say it's noon and it's directly over my head. If it was the end of December. And then Central America, they're having their summer because the sun is closer. It's higher because it's closer. Australia. So 6 months later, the sun migrates in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the sun migrates all the way into the Tropic of Cancer. It's hot in Mexico because the sun goes right over Mexico. It's warmer in the UK. It's warmer in Connecticut because the sun is closer. Closer.
Yep.
So that explains seasons. So let's just do a real world example. This is something you could do. So if you had a heat source, you had a ball, just a heated up, heat source, and it's at arm's length. It's at arm's length in front of you. It's at arm's length above you. It's arm length. So it makes this circle around you. Would you feel any difference in the heat? No, because it's the same distance from you. It's the same distance from you. It's the same distance from you. So you and I are sitting out on a frozen field. We're 20 feet apart because we don't want to infect each other with you know what. Okay. So we're 20 feet apart. It's February here and it's freezing. And you're like, Dave, why the hell are we outside? I said, I got to show you something. Right. So you're trying to drink your glass of wine. It's freezing, even though it has alcohol in it. It's that cold. Right. So Paige, my wife, my partner, comes out and says, David, this is horrible what you're doing to Laura. And she gets a 10-foot high pole and holds a big heat lamp directly over your head. And you're like, oh, it feels really nice. You take off your coat, your wine melts, and you're like, this is nice.
Yeah.
And I say, Laura, I said, where is that heat lamp? And you're like, oh, it's right above me. It's right there. But I'm looking at it 20 feet away. It's not above me. It's over there. It's like 45 degrees off my horizon, but it's still, we're on a level plane. It's still 10 feet over your head, but I see it down lower. Now she walks over to me. I'm going to watch it coming over. It looks like it's getting higher. It looks like it's getting higher. And now it's over me. I'm warm. You're cold.
Yep.
A heat source. When the sun gets closer, it's warmer. Period.
Yep.
And that's it. That's how seasons work. It's unreal. It's so simple.
But
on the app, the frequently asked questions, hit the seasons. There's a whole bunch of videos. There's some by all different people, and it just let it sink in, soak them all in, and then you'll be like, how did I ever believe in the tilted ball model?
All the answers are there. If you do your research, and Dave's obviously put this app together for everything. It's there. Everything you want to know is there. Now, there obviously will be some things we don't know because we don't know what's above, beyond, and below because we've not been. We can't go there.
Right.
But it is a lot of information, questions that people generally ask when they start listening. That people have got this idea that the earth is flat and you're going to fall off the edge. That's kind of, well, where's the edge? Everything is in the videos.
Yeah, well, you got to understand, where is the edge of the world? And it's a great question, but where we live in a pond, large bodies of water at rest needs containment. So I'm trying to show you. So if you had a pond and the one side of the pond was lower than the water, do you have a pond anymore? Nope. Water's going to go away. So our world pond is surrounded by land, and that land is called Antarctica. So So Antarctica, when most people don't know, it's the shoreline. It's the highest land on Earth. Antarctica, the base of Antarctica is like 200 feet higher than the ocean. It's the container of our world. And we're not allowed to go here. Remember, we cut it out, we wrap it around a ball, and then all of that white is now a little continent at the bottom of the ball, which doesn't make any sense. No one's allowed to go there. There's no pictures of it from space. And we have to protect the penguins. But burn down the Amazon. That's fine. That's fine. That's okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And we're not allowed to explore beyond 60 degrees south. You can only go to this little peninsula right here, which is bigger than some countries. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, because we are not living on a spinning ball and water has to be contained. And the truth cannot be taught. It has to be learned. So people really do need to do their own looking into this.
Well, you know what's easier than learning and thinking is memorizing and regurgitating. It's way easier. And, Jaron from the Jaronism channel always says, if you want to be rich, invent something that makes people lazier. Because people will do anything to be lazier. Like if you want to have a nice dinner tonight, you got to go shopping. You got to think about it. You got to work on a recipe. You got to prepare. You got to cook. and then you got to clean. What makes it easier? Fast food.
Yeah.
Go pick it up. Done. No clean. Everything goes in the garbage. Done. Wow, that's easier. What makes that easier? DoorDash. You guys have DoorDash there? Delivery of fast food?
No.
So
Oh,
it's
we
like
have
Uber.
similar, but
yeah, it's like Uber here. You just order your food and then somebody brings it to your door and you can yell, "Come in, bring it over to the couch. I don't want to put my feet on the floor." Right? So
no.
yeah, and it's worth billions of dollars now. So again,
that's crazy.
thinking using your God-given common sense is an effort for a lot of people. And because the indoctrination system hasn't taught us how to think, they've only taught us how to memorize and regurgitate. And God forbid you have an idea that's outside of that Rockefeller-funded textbook. God forbid.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So why do we see the moon during the daytime? That's another thing that's, literally on the same sky as the, that in itself, isn't the moon meant to be on the other side?
No, that's something that a lot of flat earthers even get wrong. So if you look right now, the moon is right here and the sun is right here. The sun will lap the moon once every 28 days. So right now, what time is it here? So your moon is setting for you because you're over here because it's going away.
Yep.
My moon is rising. So, at 6 p.m. tonight, the moon will be directly above me. And, it's right on the edge of my day-night line. But if you watch that every time the 28, 29 times around, the sun will lap the moon. So only when there's a more than half a moon will it be fully in the day, the sun in the day and the moon in the night. The moon can be in the night sky. The moon
it can be
in the day sky. But the sun can't be in the night sky because wherever the sun is, it's day. The sun is only in the day sky. The sun is only in the middle of the day sky. So look, it's catching up to the moon. So when there's a crescent, this is a waning crescent. It's in the day for everyone on Earth. So people at night will have no moon. There's so many TikTokers out there that are like, look, the moon is in the day sky here. What about the people on the other side of the earth in the dark? Where's their moon? They don't have a moon. It's the same for everybody. Wait until when you see the moon in your day sky, wait until the night. There's no moon because the moon is in its position. The sun keeps track of the hours and the days. The moon keeps track of the weeks and the months. There used to be 13 months of 28 days. And then one day to reset, that's 365. And then the stars travel slightly faster than the sun, lapping the sun once a year. So what does that mean? That means that the sun is in this zodiac and it'll slowly drift back into each zodiac for about a month. Until after 365 times around, all the stars will have lapped the sun and it's back where it is right now next year at this time. So that's how the stars keeping track of the seasons and the years. The sky is a perfect clock, more accurate than any fine Swiss watch or timepiece on Earth. You know why it's more accurate? Because that's what everything is set to, the sky clock. Yeah. It can't be. It's like you can't have the sun in the night sky and you can't have a watch more accurate than the sky clock because that is the clock. You know how they tricked us? They said, let's, they go, well, the sky goes around once every 24 hours. Wherever the sun is, it's noon. There's 24 time zones. Let's give them clocks, but we'll make it 12, make it go around twice every day. We'll make it go around twice every day so they don't figure out where they live. Right? The hour hand on a clock goes around twice every day. Get a 24-hour clock. Put a yellow sticker on the hour hand. That is where the sun is. And get this flat earth map and align yourself with the bottom and say that's 12 noon. And then wherever the hour hand is, that'll be noon. It's noon in Johannesburg right now.
Wow.
Amazing. And I can call somebody. I could wait. Let's say I know somebody here in Brazil, and I could wait until the sun's right there, and I can call them up and say, what time is it? They'd say it's noon. Sun's right above me. It works. It works everywhere.
So fascinating. I just think it's a very, very fascinating wake up. Would you say that this is the biggest lie we've ever been told?
That's funny because Eddie Bravo, I don't know if you know who he is. He's a big proponent of flat Earth. He's big here in the U.S. And I think it was him. I might be misquoted. Might be somebody else. They said when I found out about flat Earth, looking in conspiracies and stuff, he goes, got kind of depressed because I felt, wow, I'll never have a big aha moment like that again. And I thought flat Earth was the end also. But on the more resources page, we have the lost history of flat Earth about Tataria.
Oh, that is amazing.
That's not. You're thinking about the Awaranon, the lost history of flat Earth. This is this is just Tataria stuff. But I have the whole series right here, Lost History of Flat Earth. Amazing. The first video is 5 hours, right? And everyone's like, I'm not watching a 5-hour video. You watch it, you'll watch it again. And then the giant trees. Have you looked into that?
Yes. Yeah. And you're right. It did make me go, wow, I didn't think I could do that after learning about flat Earth. I thought that was it.
Yeah. And you haven't even gotten there yet on the giant trees. It gets bigger and better. On the homeschool section, I have My Lunch Break. I encourage you to watch that. He makes these short videos, one a week, 20 minutes or so, he finds these old buildings and he finds in the stories about, oh, this was built in 1789 and it took 1 year to make. And he's showing these buildings that we couldn't build in 10 years now. They did it without power tools and everything. It's just so crazy. And he's blowing my mind. And then over here, Jake, I'm the Improbable Dreamer. Follow him on Instagram, but he's right there on the app. He does short videos. He's showing giants. He's showing airships that hold thousands and thousands of people that were in the pre-1800s and just the technology that we used to have that's all being hidden from us. What difference does it make? I got to go to work on Monday. What if you didn't have to pay for fuel for your car, heat or air conditioning for your home, and you had energy medicine that could cure any dis-ease that you have? Would that change your life? Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you didn't have to pay for all the power and you could have as much as you want, maybe that would free you up to do some incredible things. Yeah. So there's so much on here. One thing that we all have in common, and is all the flat earthers, we're never bored. Laura, have you found a moment of boredom since you found flat Earth? Even if you're stuck in traffic, you got a podcast to listen to, you got a YouTube video to throw on, you got some stuff, and the app is endless. Every day there's a daily video right here. And I offer any of you that are going, this is crazy, 3 Bitcoins, that's over $100,000 for 1 globe proof. But you have to watch the daily video each day for 2 weeks. At the end of that, send me your proof and you win your 3 Bitcoins. But first, check the frequently asked questions. Make sure your answer to your kindergarten question wasn't there and answered. And then, it's only the people that will try, that will look. And, I encourage people, try to debunk flat Earth, try to prove the globe. And that's how you become one of us.
Yeah. And it's a really good place to be in, because then what you start doing is paying attention to your senses again, because they've taken us away from our own senses. And if we can't rely on ourselves anymore, then we give up the right to make decisions, because we feel that we're not clever enough. We're not, capable of making these decisions, and we need to come back to ourselves.
Many people say, I'm not smart enough. I don't have a degree. I can't do that. I can't figure it out. Keep saying that. Keep casting that spell upon yourself. I'm not smart enough. You can do anything if you put your mind to it, right? A baby has enough common sense to know that we're not spinning and whirling and twirling. As soon as they have the words to put it together, of course they know that. We're all fooled to believe, well, it's not peer reviewed. The peer review is the biggest hoax going. Peer review is right up there with flat Earth. It's so stupid. It's just a mind bender. On the app, search peer review on the video search. It's a great video I have. Just search peer review. And it's a short video about a professor talking about what peer review is and how absolutely it is enslaving humanity with lies.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is another reason why it's really important, and obviously why the lie And we've covered many different. But the Why the Lie for me, I listened to obviously a lot of them, but I think for me it was another big sort of bang about the legal fiction in a fiction based world.
On the frequently asked question page, there's the Why the Lie, and if we click that, see, oh, look at the top video right there. I put that right at the top, and then this guy Neo Human, this guy has made some amazing videos, and he has a new one premiering on the app December 3rd, I think, and it's going to be his best one yet. Mind blowing. If you haven't seen this video, you need to watch it right here, and of course this video. But all of the Why the Lie stuff is just such great stuff on here. And I'll put this playlist on, and when the video's done, the next one comes out. Then the next one comes out.
Excellent.
Instead of YouTube feeding you, you watch something and then boom, the just horrible stuff that you didn't ask for comes on, and propaganda videos taking you, trying to take you down a dead end hallway. But the Why the Lie videos, these won't show up in your YouTube feed, but these are great videos. And also, if anybody has you're on the app and you're like, this is a really good video I can't find on the app, send me the video. Tell me what it's about. You can make it short. Just tell me, hey, this is a great video. If it's great, bam, it's on the app. It's in the frequently asked questions. It's in the more resources, depending on where it goes. It's amazing. And then for those of you that want scientific proof, if you hit the spider web, which I call the more resources page, scroll down, Flat Earth Facts by Experiments. All the work has been done for you. I made it lazy. It's all been done for you and documented, and you can show there is no curvature.
And what's the app called? Someone just said, where did I get the app?
The app is called, it's a long name, the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Forget that. Forget it. Go to flatearthdave.com. Right, if you go on Apple, type in flat E, it'll show right up. Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. It's by Blue Water Bay. But the reason I tell you to go to flatearthdave.com is because some anti-Flat Earth paid or possessed agents have created an app with the exact same name. And when the app first came out, every time I would add a new feature, they would add it, but they do it horribly. The graphics stink, and then the videos will lead you to the troll videos, not to the good videos. But then they finally gave up because I just blew by them with so much. Go to flatearthdave.com, click the giant banner at the top. It'll take you to Android and Apple and download it there. It's $3. All right. Do not subscribe if it's upsetting you, but you're going to end up wanting to subscribe. And the reason I charge for the subscription is because all of the things that the subscription gives you cost money per use, and it costs more than $3 in a short period of time. So that's why I charge $11 a year. Have you ever bought anybody a margarita and forgot to tip the bartender? Well, that costs you more than $11. Okay. And they're just going to piss that away in 20 minutes. Right. So
I love it.
Yeah.
No, it's brilliant. Well, thank you. I really have enjoyed this discussion. And obviously, I didn't know how in depth your app was, and highly recommended for people who would want to know where to learn about the FE that we live on.
It's amazing. It's such an amazing journey, and as I said, we're never bored, and it's just such a great group of people, and the world is waking up. We're going to be in the majority very soon. We're one tweet away, one video away, one interview away from 10 million people waking up. You know what happens when 10 million people wake up one night? 20 million wake up the next night, right? And then it hits the collective consciousness, and it's out there. And this is the one that unplugs you from the matrix. It takes you out of the fiction ball, puts you back on God's created flat earth, gives you your power back. Right? Yes. It's not just about the shape. The shape. Who cares about the shape? It's the lie. It's the fake world. Yeah. It's the legal fiction. If you haven't watched Laura's rant at least 10 times, you need to watch it again. Okay. And my YouTube channel is DITRH. It stands for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. I got a bunch of channels. I got an interview channel, but everything is linked at flatearthdave.com. But if you want to just go to DITRH and subscribe there, I just got over 100,000 subscribers. And all my videos are for short attention spans. So most of them are under 5 minutes. Yours is probably the longest video on my channel. It's like 9 minutes, I think. So I have lots of short stuff there. For those, I was a short attention span guy. Like, show me something short. And Twitter and TikTok, it's all short. So people are used to being short. But the thing is, a lot of people are like, well, TikTok's making people's attention span shorter. Maybe, but it's the fact. But the thing is, you show somebody a couple TikToks and then a couple of shorts on YouTube, then they'll watch something longer, and the next thing you know, they're watching a 5-hour Ewarren video, and then they're there. Then they're done. Me, when a good video comes out, I'm like, God, I hope it's long. I hope it's really long. I just want them. I want these long videos that are really good. I don't want them to end. So it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Life's amazing. You're amazing. I'm so happy I found your video, and this was a great chat.
I'm over the moon that can I say that, over the moon? That you contacted,
You can say that, but it's not that impressive. It's not that. It's just a few miles. It's just a few miles to the moon and back. What's that, like 7 miles?
It's not far, really, is it? I don't think it's that far. Absolutely.
I often see the moon. I'm like 30 miles from New York City, and the moon's between us and New York City. I'm like, what's closer, the moon or New York City? And I actually think the moon is closer, but it's the moon that we see. Okay. On my stuff, go to the eclipses section and watch my videos on eclipses. It's crazy. I have a whole thing about the eclipses being projected into our reality. The sun that we see is just a projection of the real sun that's within the firmament. Now that's my theory. I made some models and they exactly match what we see. Show me something better.
I love it. Brilliant. You've taken, when did you first start the app? Because there's a lot on there.
Oh my God, it's endless. 2018. When I made it, I first made it just for me because I was like, I want that little animation, and I would just show it to people. I was like, where can I get this? I was like, well, it's not published, it's just on test flight. And so then I published it for free, and people started going wild, right? And then people were like, hey, can you add this? Can you add that? And that's when the YouTube apocalypse hit, where they basically just shadow banned all flat Earth. And I said, all right, I want to add this, but it started costing me money. So I said, you know what? Let me charge $3 for the app. People kept buying it. So I took all that money, put it in, and I was like, all right, I got the video search. Not video search. I got videos. I was like, well, I got to put an archive in there, and then I got to put a frequently asked questions in there. And so every day I'd like, all right, I'm done. And then, no, I got another idea. And I realized I'll never be done until I can press a button on the app and actually transport myself to your studio and we can talk in person. Right? Until that happens, I don't think that it'll be done. So that might not be that far away, but the app is all I work on. I mean, I work on it all the time. But here's the thing. I do it because it's a great tool, not to sell it. I wish I could give it away for free. Maybe one day I can make it open source and and make it so the app is free and then you can subscribe if you want or something. But until I get to those numbers, I have to sell it because people that say, well, why isn't it free? Truth should be free. Why don't you work for free? What do you? I work all the time, and the thing is, the number, the monthly costs for the server are, I don't even want to tell you. They're 5 figures. It's insane. It's insane how much it costs monthly. So until and I'm looking forward to the day that the monthly costs are $100,000 or $200,000 a month to run it. Because you know what that means? The whole world woke up to flat Earth. That's what it means.
Yeah.
So,
and that's what we need, the collective consciousness to wake up.
Yeah.
And then it's over.
And here's the thing, Laura, your rant was fantastic. Who told you to do that rant? Why did you do that? Who made you do that? Who gave you that information? You did it yourself. And here's the thing. Do it yourself. Do it yourself. If it's your passion, do it yourself. Do it. Nobody told me what to do. Nobody's helping me. A lot of people are trying to hinder me. It's just me and the creator and other supportive people, other YouTubers. I work a lot with Jaron from Jaronism. Everybody subscribe to Jaronism on YouTube. And and other people, and we all share ideas. And I take a lot of people's ideas, I put them in my presentation, and people that aren't even public YouTubers, they're like, hey, Dave, check this meme out. If you got a great meme, a great image that would be good for the images, on my website, flatearthdave.com, there's submit images. Send me your images. If they're nice, make sure they're high quality. I'll drop them in the app and tell me what keywords you want, or I'll just figure it out. And then you can search them up and they'll be right there at your fingertips.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I'm definitely going to download and join the app. I think I downloaded it, but I need to join it properly. It's very... And I have a feeling I might have downloaded a few... about a year ago, I might have downloaded the wrong app. Like you said, it wasn't... Yeah,
that's why I say just go to... the people at the end of a podcast are like, hey, where can we find your stuff? And you go, well, my website is this, and my Facebook is this, and my YouTube is this, and my Rumble, and nobody remembers anything. FlatEarthDave.com. That's all you got to remember. Everything's there. Scroll down to my social media areas, click on all of those, subscribe, whatever you want. And everything is there. If you can't get the app, and the app's only for smartphones, tablets and the iPads, it's not for computers yet. But if you don't have a device to put on, just go to my webpage, scroll down until you see a big picture of me. It says Crash Course. Click that, and there's a list of videos that YouTube will never show you. Watch them. You cannot watch 3 and not become a flat earther. It's scientifically impossible. What was I going to say? I was going to say something about you guys. Do you celebrate Thanksgiving in the UK, or is that just an American thing?
No, that's just an American thing.
Okay, so Christmas. You guys celebrate Christmas, right?
Yeah.
So when you have your family over, if you want to save money, the thing here in America, I say at Thanksgiving, just bring up flat Earth, and that way you'll save money on Christmas because you won't have to buy anyone Christmas gifts because nobody will be talking. Nobody will be talking. But there's great videos. Pick a good video out of that crash course list and throw it on the TV on Thanksgiving, or Christmas or whatever. When you have the family over, throw it to say, hey, check this out, like the 21 Questions or one of the Level movies by Sean Hibbler. Throw it on.
Brilliant.
Get someone to sit down after a big meal and they're watching that. They're going to be like, anyone that watches, like, you can't watch that, have a working brain and not have questions. And that's what you need, is to have questions. But most people are brainwashed to think that they don't have any questions. Oh no, there's this globe we're spinning through an infinitely possible space vacuum. Gases in space collapse versus everywhere else where they fill the available space. That's cool. And the distances are crazy, but they're just, everything's infinitely far away. It's so stupid. When you actually look at the stuff that they tell you, it's mind-boggling.
Yes, and the questions you won't even know you want to ask won't come to you until you start looking into this subject.
Yep.
And I just found it fascinating, absolutely brilliant. Hibbler as well have done some amazing things, haven't they? Amazing videos.
He's got a short video that's on that list called, and it's on the app under the FE movies, and it's short. I like it because I think it's like 30 minutes or 35 minutes, something like that, called One Shot at Redemption. And it's a great little documentary. One shot, and that one has gotten so many people because you know what? It's not too long, where you could be like, I don't have an hour and a half, and it's not too short where you don't get enough information. And it's done beautifully, it's done theatrically, and it's done amazingly. That video alone is waking up so many people. So share that video, throw that one on the TV. One Shot at Redemption. Even if you have to like bribe your kids or your family, just say, hey, I want a 30-minute movie. I'm going to give you all $10 each or whatever it is. I'll clean all the dishes. You guys have to watch this. You have to watch this movie, whatever it takes. Yeah. And because once they watch it, you can't unsee what you saw.
Have you seen that absolute brainwashing flop Netflix one? What was it called? One Over the Curve or something. And I watched like 15 minutes. Behind the Curve. I watched like 15 minutes. Someone said to me, oh, you need to watch it. It's a flat Earth video. I said, it's on Netflix. And they said, yeah, but it's really good. I said, it's on Netflix. I said, there's a reason why it's on Netflix. It is to discredit the flat Earth truth. And so I watched 15 minutes and I realised, oh my God, you got the crazy cat woman, you got the man living in a basement, like old man living still with his mum, and you got this crazy, guy who's just come out of some kind of asylum.
Well, that, and then also they misrepresented the two big things in there was Jaron with his laser test. And in reality, everyone there realized that they didn't prove anything. If they proved anything, it was that the earth is flat, but it was too many variables. So they walked away, but they edited the movie. So it looked like he proved the earth was flat. And then the ring laser gyro thing where Bob's like, oh, we better not let the Globers see this. The reason he said that was because we better let the Globers see it before we determine what caused that rotation. And they did another experiment at a higher altitude, and it proved that it was the sky that was turning and not the earth. But they left that out of the movie. So again, on the app, and this is important if somebody's like, oh, what about National Geographic? If you go to the web button and you scroll down to debunking the debunkers, right? Hit that, and up come a whole bunch of stuff. The first one is a 3-minute video explaining exactly what I just told you, showing you how it's just a hit piece. And there's all sorts of other stuff. What about National Geographic? They filmed it, this one right here. We showed you how they're faking it. And we're not saying they're faking it. We showed you how they completely and totally faked it, where the helicopter went over the curve. Fake. Well, if they faked it, why do they have to fake it? If the earth is a globe, why do you have to fake anything? Yeah. So all of the debunking stuff is right here. And, take the time and go through it. And all the stuff that YouTube feeds you, it's all here at your fingertips. But again, as we said, you don't just learn truth by believing. You can watch a video. I believe that. Like this low-minded guy in my town. He only watches Dave McKeegan, Flat Earth, Simon Dan, and McGoon, right? These are paid agents or possessed, and that's all he watches. That's all he watches, and it's so amazing. It's so amazing that people do that. So again,
imagine
where do I told you I live in Connecticut. Do you know that I live in Connecticut, or do you believe it?
Well, I don't know it. I just believe it. But you may be, like you say, you may be, yeah.
Right.
So,
we have to go through life trusting. We have to trust, because we have to verify everything. God, that would be tedious. But we're told things as truth, and people we're trusting people. Why would anyone lie? That should be the question. Like, I don't understand why people would lie. That's the world I want to live in, where nobody lies.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the other thing about the awakening to this is, imagine once people truly start waking up, how much money, NASA will lose, the film industry will lose, the marketing to do with the, everything to do with Flat Earth. I mean, the dinosaur hoax, everything. They would lose so much money, and that is why it's really important to them, because, like I said, in this fictional world, they created. It's all to do for companies, for making money and for owning you in that materialistic world.
Think about the movies they can make based on reality. It's way more interesting than the nonsense they throw at us through space. The Star Wars is literally the story of the navigator who crossed the ice wall. If you check out that book, it's on the app in the book section. Short book, big type, pictures, easy to read. But it's about people going beyond Antarctica, and there's other ponds out there. Is it true? I don't know, but it's amazing. And if the earth is flat, it's scientifically possible. So we don't know how big this God created flat earth is. Maybe earth is 1,000 times bigger than they tell us, and we're just stuck in this little circle.
And absolutely. And also the fact that there must be, I mean, when I believed in the globe, I did think we can't be the only planet to have life on. At the time, I did think we can't be the only one, because to think you're the only one, that makes it quite egotistical. There's got to be more. But now I realised that over the ice wall there has to be extraterrestrials, and are they feeling the same?
Yeah, well, extraterrestrials, extra terra, extra land, and you've seen me talk about Kiribati, where there's a ship that was found, and other ships hundreds and hundreds of miles inside of the shoreline of Antarctica. How could you have an active ship in the middle of Antarctica? But if you spread that out on a flat Earth map, they could be going to the outer lands. It could be a trade route. America says Kiribati, this little sandbar in the middle of the South Pacific, is the most important trade route. What are we getting there? Sand? There's not even enough sand there. And it's the most important trade route. China gave them $10 billion. We gave them a close amount to that not too long ago. And what are they doing? Maybe they're trading with an advanced civilization out there, weapons, food, tuna fish, children. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
we want the right to explore.
yeah. What do you think of aliens? Do you think we actually have aliens or not?
Well, aliens are extraterrestrials.
That's what, yeah. Okay. So they're like a foreign.
Well, an extraterrestrial is somebody that comes from other land, and that we don't know of. That would be an extraterrestrial. So let's say there was another continent beyond the shoreline of Antarctica, and somebody came from there. That's extra terra, extra land, and maybe that's maybe somebody lives out here. They'd be an extraterrestrial from the outer space, looking straight down on the Earth here. This is the shoreline of Antarctica, but let's say it's not already frozen. If we went from here to the center of this island, they said, hey, you're at Antarctica. This is bigger than the United States and Canada and UK combined. And if you landed there, how would you know that this is just a continent? How would you know that, we don't know if this is all frozen out here. We don't know. It might be. It very well might be. I think it is. I think this is frozen, but maybe there's times where you can get out here. So Kiribati is right here, and the ship we found would be right out here, but wrap that around a ball. It's in the middle of Antarctica. It's fascinating. It's fascinating.
Is, absolutely.
Maybe the Earth is like this. We're here. This is South America, UK, Australia, and there's extra land out here. This ring is Antarctica, right? And then there's another, and then we have a sun out here, another sun here, and a sun out here, right? Lord of the Rings, that ring a bell?
I have not seen that. Oh no, not Lord of the Rings. It's the other one. What's the other one that everyone says that they've watched, which shows Antarctica? It shows the ice wall.
The Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. I haven't seen it. But
yeah, I believe that the Game of Thrones, I think one of the main purposes of that, one, to make you think about our history, that there was crazy, times like that. It's also throwing truth. They have dragons in there. Dragons are real. Dinosaurs are fake. And, I don't know if dragons breathe fire, but who knows? I couldn't tell you. I wasn't there. But they want you to believe that there's a wall at the end of the Earth. There's not a wall at the end of the Earth. There's a shoreline. If you had a wall, an ice wall that was 10 feet thick, that's an ice wall. If it was 1,000 feet thick, it's a nice thick ice wall. If it was 1,000 miles thick, that's a continent.
Yeah.
It's not a wall.
Yeah.
You can't jump off a wall. You just go up on a continent and you go. And then what if you found, other lands out here? This could be 100% fiction. Probably is.
And those maps are old maps from old books, aren't they?
Yeah, some of them are on the app. In the book section, there's the Iron Republic. Have you read that book?
No.
You can also just search in the video search. There's an audio version of it, the Iron Republic, and also the book if you want to read the book. And it's about some politician that got fed up in the 1800s, sold everything, went to Antarctica, and he found an opening. And he went through this opening, and then he's back out at sea, and they're lost. The stars weren't looking right, couldn't figure out where they were. They were lost, I think, for 3 months. And they finally saw land and saw a city, and the city was like, it was like there was no noise coming from the city. They waited until the morning to go in, and they were greeted by a boat. So if this is where they were, so maybe he went through this little opening here, and then they found land here, and they said, "Hey, this is the Iron Republic." You know, because we're from America. Where's the Iron Republic? And they go, "Well, it's on the other side of Antarctica, about the same distance as the United States." Huh? Look at that. And the guy ended up living there for 10 years. He fell in love. He got married, and then something happened. I think his wife died. He got his ship back, and he went back, and he landed in Florida. And he told the story of what happened. And the story was amazing. Flat screens and a whole different type of government and floating cars and all sorts of technology. This was written in 1901. So whether it's real or not doesn't matter. Rings true to me. They were talking about more land beyond Antarctica.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I do believe obviously there's more. We can't just be the only ones.
To me, that makes a lot of sense. But the thing is, we can't make any solid claims. We don't need it to prove the Earth is flat. We know that large bodies of water at rest lie flat. You can't have high pressure next to no pressure without a container. Impossible. Every sense we have, every experiment we've done to test for axial rotation has proven zero rotation. Has proven the sky is rotating. We're traveling, in the corkscrewing that we're going in, in this crazy universe. The stars should be changing every night. We have this.
Yeah.
Right? This is what's going on. But no two stars have ever changed places. Right? When you go outside, look at trees in the distance and trees near you, and then walk, they'll all change position. It's called parallax. No two stars have ever crossed each other.
Yeah. All the evidence is there. You've just got to know what to look for.
Yeah, but there's always an excuse. You can make up any excuse you want. Well, they're so far away, you'll never see parallax. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. The pyramid, the Great Pyramid, has a shaft pointing at Polaris, but when they built it, it was pointing at Thuban, a different North Star, 2,000 years ago. But we just happened to be pointing at Polaris during your life. But that's because of the wobble of the Earth. So that doesn't matter that things are so far away that the trillions of miles that we move don't cause parallax. But the wobble is undeniable if we're wobbling. Well, we have the Georgia Guidestones here that were built pointing at Polaris over 40 years ago, and they still points at Polaris. Polaris would have been out of that hole already. And when we pointed it out, they blew it up. A terrorist blew up that monument. Isn't that crazy?
My goodness.
Yeah. So for those, do you know about the Georgia Guidestones? It was built in 1981. It had 10 commandments on it. One of them to never let the human population rise over 500 million again. I don't know. Are they expecting some reset to happen? But we're corkscrewing through space. All of these motions. But when you look through, Polaris is right in the middle. 40 years is more than a half a degree. Doesn't sound like a lot, but a half a degree is 1.5 moon widths. That would have knocked Polaris right out of that hole. You can't say it was pointing towards Thuban because we know when it was built and we know that it was pointing towards Polaris. And so when we started reporting on this, all of a sudden a terrorist, something happened, and it created it blew up the Guidestones. Where is it? Where's my Guidestone? Here it is. And then within a couple of hours, bulldozers were there to knock the whole thing down and take all the debris away, and there was no investigation.
Yeah, that was very unusual. Yeah, very unusual.
Yeah, very unusual. Proving a stationary Earth with a rotating sky, getting rid of the evidence. Just like 9/11. Take it away. Don't investigate.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's got any questions. I've got people sort of jumping on. If you've got any quick questions, Dave, honestly, I just want to thank you for allowing me to have this conversation with you. It's been really, really interesting. And it's one of my favorite subjects. And whenever I feel like I've had enough of the world, I've had enough of what's going on, I just want time out, I always go and watch something to do with flat Earth. So it makes me feel good.
The beautiful thing is on the friend, people say what inspired me to make the FriendFinder was people like, I'm flat. I can't even talk to my family about it. I don't need someone to talk to, and talking online, that's good, but there's nothing like in real life, IRL, in real life. And I just found out what that was, by the way, recently. IRL. What the hell is IRL? Okay. So you find someone near you, you message, you say, hey, I'm having a little meetup at the little pub at 4:00 on Saturday. And then you just go. And one person shows up, it's a success. 5 people show up, amazing. 5 new best friends. And then you're going to end up meeting. People are meeting like every week, every first of Sunday of every month. And just people literally have met, have gotten married, have had kids because of this. So it's a great tool. And guess what? If it wasn't mine, if you had made this, I'd still be promoting it because this is the way to wake people up. Show me something better.
Yeah.
Here.
No, it's brilliant.
Eric DeBay's book, FAQs. This is great. It's a great book. But when you're out and about at a pub, at the park, whatever, you don't have the book in your pocket. If someone says like, "Oh, tell me about curvature," you can just show them the page. But with the app, you can send them the page. You can send them the video. You have it with you all the time. Put this on your coffee table book. On your coffee table, it's good. Put it, because you pick it up. It says every topic is covered, and there's pictures, and it's well done.
People are asking me about the 2 suns. Do you know anything about 2 suns?
You know what? I will show you. This is what I think the 2 suns are. So, I've been showing this. I'm trying to always show new things, but this is an important one to show about the 2 suns. So here is what I think when people are seeing the 2 suns. And this is just me. There could be a better explanation. Where are my eclipses? And okay. So here we go. So I believe that the sun, the source moon are within the firmament, above it. People are like, well, no, God said it's in the firmament. Well, if you put the milk in the refrigerator, is it under the refrigerator? Is it in the refrigerator? It's in the refrigerator. So if the refrigerator is the firmament, the sun is in the firmament, but we see it underneath the firmament. Okay. Yep. So here is an eclipse. It was hazy. First time chemtrails actually help because it's not blowing out the lens of the camera. And this is an eclipse. Now we don't see what's eclipsing it because there's just something eclipsing it. People think it's the moon, but never see the moon. Why don't we see the moon? So here is my paper towel sky. This is my sky paper towel. And I have a rear projection and I'm eclipsing it with a circular bottle cap. All right. So, excuse me. So let's say, here's another eclipse I'm going to show you right now where we're filming the eclipse. Now the eclipse is like 85-90% eclipsed. And this is the eclipse right here. This is the sun that we see, but it's blowing out the lens. It's still too bright, even though 85% of the sun is hidden. But we have this as a lens flare. But what is this one? This one isn't moving in relation to the sun. Like when you have a lens flare, it moves all over. So this is lens flare, a little secondary lens flare. But this one, what is going on here? Why is it perfectly locked to the sun? It can't be a lens flare. I suggest that this is the source sun being projected into our sky screen. Excuse me. Excuse me. So it's being projected into our sky screen, and it's always there, but you can't see it. You can't see it because the sun's so bright. It blocks it out. It makes the sky. But when the sun is dimmed, the sky is dimmer. It's more transparent. So here is my paper towel sky. You don't see the eclipse because there's no light on it. So here it is. There's my source sun. There's my bottle cap. And this is what we see. This is behind the firmament. This is what we see in our reality. So you don't see the bottle cap because there's no light on the bottle cap. But then I said, what if the sky is more transparent during an eclipse? So I got my toilet paper sky. And look at this. I'm looking through the sky here and I can see the source. This is the source light behind. This is projecting. And when I compare it to the actual eclipse, versus my simulated eclipse, it looks exactly the same.
That's very good. It's very, very good.
At night, you can see farther than you can during the day. The sun excites the nitrogen in the sky and creates the blue. That's why I think we see blue. And it creates our sky screen. During an eclipse, there's less and less. The sky becomes more transparent. We're seeing through the sky to the rear projector. We're seeing through the sky to the source projection of the sun. This is the sun that we see. This is the second sun. Now, when we've had all these fires here, smoke in America, in certain conditions, the sun is dimmed enough where we can see the source sun. So people see two suns, like, oh my God, I think the smaller one is the actual source, and you're just seeing through the sky. So you're seeing both suns.
That is an amazing explanation. It does make a lot of sense.
It does. Now, show me something better. It does.
Yeah, exactly. No, and you've put a lot of thought into that as well. What do you think the stars are then?
Angels.
Right. Yeah. You don't think they are water on the other side? So that's what I think one of those videos was saying.
Yeah. So I think that we're looking through water. We sent a balloon up in Arizona with cameras looking up, and before it took off, it saw amazing stars. And by the time it hit 70,000 feet, there was no stars. I can't explain that, but I definitely can't explain it in a heliocentric model. So this is the star Arcturus. You can see this with your naked eye. Zoom in, slow it down a little bit. What is going on here? What is that? To me, that's sentient. It's sentient, if you ask me. And here is the star Sirius, slowed down a little bit. Now that kind of looks like it's looking through water. It's pretty cool. Here is the star Arcturus again.
Wow.
That one is wild, right? This is what you see with your naked eye, but I'm zooming in on it. Like if it was 200 trillion miles away, I don't care what how many magnification I have on my P1000, it wouldn't be able to zoom in on it. This is something very, very close inside our system, right? They tell us Arcturus is 211 trillion miles away. You've heard me talk about how far 1 trillion is, how big 1 trillion is. How long is 1 trillion seconds? Guess.
31,000 something.
31,000 years. You have been listening. 1 trillion seconds is 31,000 years. 31,000 years is 1 trillion seconds. So if I'm traveling a mile per second, no one's ever gone that fast. You and I were in a rocket ship, and we're going to Arcturus. And we traveled for 31,000 years of me telling you all my dad jokes. You're kind of sick of them at this point. We traveled 31,000 years. We only have to do that 210 more times before we get to this stupid little star that we can see with our naked eye. And it's really bright in the sky. The light just focuses on us. It doesn't spread out and get dimmer as we know that it does. Right? It's stupid what they tell us. It's insulting. This is the star Capella, another amazing one. Each star has its own little personality. Why don't the stars move? What if the stars were angels and they were perfect? Why would they need to move? Yeah. Why would they ever need to change?
Yeah. It's beautiful. It's actually really beautiful. And you can see this from your P900 camera.
P900, P1000. Check out this one.
P1000.
I don't know what star this is. Somebody zoomed in on this star, and this is what they saw.
Wow.
So no matter what shape the lights are, in the distance, everything goes to a circle. It looks like a dot. But you zoom in on this, what the heck are we seeing here? Zoom out, it all just goes perspective, and it just is just a star. What is that?
Yeah. I love it.
That one gets me. That one is amazing. And then isn't that crazy? Like
I want to get my own camera now so I can have a look.
Yeah. And here's a whole bunch of stars. They look like look like water, right? Looks like we're looking through them through water. And here is that a star? You know what that is? That's a bowl of water for a dog outside that the sun is hitting, and it's reflecting onto the ceiling in this room.
Yes.
This guy just like, what? There's the bowl of water. The sun is hitting it. It's looking a little bit like a star. Now, does that mean that the stars reflect the bowl? No, it means that something with water going up in the sky. God separated the waters from the waters and created the firmament. I had a NASA whistleblower I was communicating with, and he said at about 72 miles high, it becomes plasma, then it becomes water, then it becomes a thicker substance, and then it becomes solid. And that's what the firmament is. And he said, NASA has the ability to go up there and investigate, but they're forbidden to. And he disappeared before I could ask him who forbade NASA from going up there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's the good thing about when you do things like you do, and as you grow, people reach out to you, because I do believe there are good people in these places, and they want the truth to come out.
Right. They want us to believe that this is CGI. This is, this is Star Trek. We're traveling to space. Now watch. These stars are changing positions. The parallax. See, they're all crisscrossing each other due to parallax. That's what you would expect after billions of years of traveling billions and trillions of miles. You would expect stars to change positions. Never. No stars ever change positions. That alone tells you we're not moving and the stars are fixed in the sky. What are the stars? We can have that conversation all day long. All day long. Right? And then if you look at the wandering stars, the AKA planets, they make these beautiful spirograph patterns, and they're going forward, and then they're retrograding, and they're making these incredible sacred geometry patterns. It's just amazing. But then NASA will show us this. This is that gas and dust in space that's collapsing and creating stars. This is a star factory, right? So these gases and dust turn into stars, and then it pops them out like a ping pong ball machine, and the star travels and parks itself somewhere on the spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy. I mean, this is just this blotch of paint is all it is. It's just a bunch of nonsense. It's a bunch of nonsense. There's probably some satanic figures in there or something if you really look at it too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like a camel to me.
And how do stars burn in space? Because space, there's no air. So how do you have nuclear fusion or anything? Like how could you even have a rocket burning fuel in space? No air, no burn.
That's right.
Right?
So it's a vacuum.
And 6 months apart, midnight is over here on this side of the ball. So if I'm looking at that star at midnight in June, in December, midnight, I'm looking that way. How can I see some of the same stars? I am looking on the other side of the friggin' universe with the sun in the middle blocking everything from that side. That side. There we go. That side. The fact that we can see any of the same stars proves the helio-nonsensical system to be, ridiculous. So what are stars? Got me. I say they're angels.
I like that. I'm going to have to wrap this up. We've gone over the 2-hour bell. I'm impressed.
Wow. I actually have to go. I'm 11 minutes late for a meeting.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate this, and it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. And and I hope everyone's enjoyed it. And please share this live if you have, and also take a look at flatearthdave.com, and have a look at his app. And and that's it, really.
Awesome.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Laura. Thanks for having me. Great discussion, and look forward to your next rant. You got a big, it's a high bar to get over. So
I know. I don't know what I'm going to do now.
But something at the beginning, you said you were wanting to make it for 2 years. I think 2 years ago was too early for that to come out. I think it came out at the perfect time. I think it had more influence today.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because someone else said exactly the same thing to me. And I said, it's been there. I've been wanting to do this for about 2 years, yeah. And I was like, I've got to get this out, and I've just not got round to it. But you're right, yeah. And I honestly, absolutely shocked at the amount of people it reached, including
Very good.
yourself.
Thanks.
And thank you for the remix.
Yeah.
Well,
You're welcome.
yeah, it's great. Right, bear with me. I'm just going to say goodbye to everyone. Much love to everyone, and speak to you all soon. Mwah.
When people finally wake up to the truth that we do not live on a spinning ball, but rather a non-rotating level plane, and what is above, below and beyond, we still don't know, the first question they ask is, why the lie? Why the lie? So many people have said they believe the lie is because they don't want you to know who you really are, which we know that we are very powerful people. Our mind is very, very powerful. They want to keep resources from you. They want you to believe that unless we go and find other planets, we're going to run out of these resources. They want you to take you away from God, and so on and so forth. However, for me, I've come to the conclusion the biggest lie is because they want you to believe you live in a fictional world. Therefore, your fictional character, which is known as your straw man, will work in that world. So when we look at the word lawful and legal, there's a maxim of law that says he who creates it owns it. They've created a globe. You see, in the natural world, God's world, nature, I say God, whoever that is for you, it could be natural creation sorts, whoever, but I'm just using God as a reference. You can't patent what is organic. They cannot take away and manipulate what is organic. They can create from it, but they cannot change it. So they cannot change the non-rotating level plane. But they need you to believe in them and not God. They need you to believe in fiction and not reality. So therefore they've created a globe. And on this globe, they control your mind. And on this globe, they register you. You see, they've created corporations. They've created birth certificates. They've registered your birth certificate to these corporations. A corporation is a dead entity. It's fake. It doesn't exist, just like the globe. They've made you believe you are living on a spinning ball on this world that doesn't exist. And they call it a globe. And on the globe, we have globalism. We have global warming. We have globalists. All of it doesn't exist. Global warming doesn't exist. It's all fake. You see, in this fake world, on this globe, we have digital currency. Doesn't exist. They create money from thin air. We have your straw man, which is there to become part of the commerce system, contract system, because you see, you as a person can't do business without your straw man. So they need to create a separate world, a legal world, where you can be your straw man. And in that world, they make you believe that you have to pay taxes. You have to give away your hard-earned money. In that world, they have taken away what God has naturally given you, which is dominion over the earth. They've taken away the land, air and water from you. And because you do not know where you live, you have given it to them. You have given up your right of dominion over what God naturally gave you. It's even in the Bible. And you have decided to live in a fictional world called the globe. And there, they own your mind. You see, in this fictional world, they register. Everything is registered, and you've registered your rights away. The rights that you were given from birth. You've registered your children away. You've registered your car away. They've taken away what is yours. And you are not ready to claim it back, because if you are not ready to realize that you have your own senses, your own eyes, your own feelings, which tell you we are not spinning. This is all a lie. Pull back the curtain and realize you live here and you own an equal share of the earth, and they've taken it away from you. In this fictional world, They create currency. They create birth certificates. They create contracts. They create your straw man. They create slavery. They've created slavery because you don't know who you are, because you don't even know where you live. Because he who creates it owns it. And if you truly believe you live on a spinning ball, then you are owned. You are owned because you've not centered yourself to your very own existence, that you are not spinning. Don't forget, in their world, you will own nothing and be happy. They're going to take everything away from you because they think they own you. Do you know why? Because they've made you sign everything over to them with their fake money, mortgages, fraudulent, globalism, fraudulent, global warming, fraudulent, doesn't exist. None of it exists. When are you going to realize none of this exists? It's all man-made. What is natural is nature that cannot be touched. We are so close to collectively waking up. And when people say, well, doesn't matter if the earth is flat or round, actually it's part of your spiritual awakening. Now here is something we should be concentrating on. As per God's law, until someone can bring the Creator into a court of law to provide first-hand testimony, which is cross-examinable, that one person has more authority than another, then logic and reason can only conclude we are all entitled to an equal benefit of the fruits of creation, and we are all equal under the law, and no one is above the law. When I say law, I mean small l, not man-made law. Each of us is gifted with our mind, with our own bodies and our conscience, to allow us to determine what is right from wrong. And hence, we can explore this reality as long as we do not cause harm, injury and loss. When you live in their fiction, in their legal world, you lose this. You lose this privilege to use your own mind and determine your own outcome. In the legal fiction, you are a slave. You are bound by legislation, acts and statutes. And you are told you're not allowed to drive on the roads unless you have register your car to a corporation and pay fines that you don't need for profit. Everything is for profit. In the legal world, even your birth certificate has created a for-profit person, which is you. They are making money on you in a world that does not exist, because nature is natural and no one can own it. But in the legal world, the fictional globe, they own you. That's why the globe is so important, because it doesn't exist. You don't exist in their world unless you want to, unless you choose to. When you are ready to wake up and come back to reality, when your mother or father used to say to you, you live in a fantasy world, come back to reality. Well, guess what? They created that fantasy world for you, and you are living in that world right now. And it is time for you to come back to reality and realize that you are not in their legal fiction. You are not a straw man. You are not a person. You are a living, breathing man or woman with the right to self-determination, and you need to grow up. You need to become an adult and start taking responsibility for your decisions. Because if you don't, you will own nothing and apparently be happy. This period of time is about ascending and disclosure. We are mentally and spiritually ascending, and we need to disclose the lies and corruption to then manifest a new future, a fair and just one, where people begin to build communities rather than societies. But to do that, the first rule of manifestation is to know thyself, know who you truly are, where you truly belong, and know where you truly are going. Now remember, your silence means you are consenting. If you say nothing, that means you are happy to live like this. I'm not. I am not happy to live like this. I want a fair world with no wars, with equal shares of what is originally ours, God-given. This is why I speak up, and this is why it's so important to drop the globe, drop the legal fiction. You are not your birth certificate, you are not the straw man, you are not a corpse. You are a living, breathing man and woman. Protect yourself, wake up, know where you are and who you are.